Hi, this is Tamra Coulter. I'm with Signature Real Estate Group, and I'm here today to talk about the market and kind of give an update now that we're starting a brand new year. And I am honored and blessed to have my dear friend, Shelly Panzarella with Prosperity Lending. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, nice to be here, thank you.
Thank you for showing up today. And so what we're gonna kind of talk about is just what's been going on in the market, where we're at, and we have a whole new year. So what's this year gonna look like, right?
That's exciting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of different things, a lot of changes just quickly as far as the mortgage side of it has changed in the first, how many, we're 3 weeks into this?
3 weeks, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of information we're gonna share. So to start off with, in 2021, there was over 40,000 homes sold in the Southern Nevada market. Over 40,000, can you believe that?
You know, it's crazy to hear that because everybody just talks about the inventory shortage, right?
Right.
And I think when people hear that, they're like, well, then you guys can't be selling any homes if there's a shortage, but that's a huge number.
Huge number.
Yeah.
And that's single family, condos, you know, alike, but 40,000 homes in just Southern Nevada. I heard that and I was like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you know. So, and then what I also thought was really interesting, so I pulled a report from last year's numbers. Do you realize we've had such a rapid increase of value in our homes that it's up almost $100,000 as the median price point. Median price point right now is $425,000. Last year at the same time, it was $340,000. So, I mean, that is
Yeah, coming in.
Yeah, 420. So that's almost $100,000. What do you think about that? I mean,
that's the demand factor of it, right now that's happened. So for sellers who've taken advantage of selling in this, it's a great opportunity for them. For buyers, one thing I think of, we had one of the lowest interest rates during that time frame too. So
absolutely.
I still think even though it was that increase in sales price, those buyers who got in, they also made close to $100,000.
Absolutely.
Or wherever it was when they came into the year. So,
well, and that brings to a point. Like I know a couple clients that we've worked on together. You know, we had one that closed on a home in April of 2020, I believe it was, and she had a brother that closed on a home a year later. So she bought at what we thought was kind of a high point at that time. It was right at the start of the pandemic, and we thought, oh my goodness. So she bought for $315,000. A home 4 doors down from her brother bought, and he paid $365,000 for a smaller home. So there was already a $50,000 equity boost that she received.
Yeah.
He's been in there since, when was that? Probably July or something like that,
yeah.
August. And now those same homes can go for over $400,000. So, I mean, he's not even been in there a year and he already paid a $50,000 bump from when she bought, you know. So, now with that being said, people keep talking, I get asked all the time, well, there's gonna be a crash, there's gonna be a bubble, there has to be because of the way the prices are going. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I lived through the bubble, and I think the biggest difference then is we had an oversupply of homes to an undersupply of people who wanted to buy. In that time, there were people purchasing 3 or 4 homes at one time because it was easy to get financing and such. Today, you can't get one buyer to get one home. You know what I mean? You have so many more buyers that are looking to purchase a home. So I think that's one main difference is that there's just not enough inventory for the amount of buyers that we have out there today. And then from the crash standpoint, the financing is so different today.
Exactly.
Than it was then. So I don't see that anywhere in the horizon. I think this year will probably be not as high, like maybe they won't see 100,000, but I still believe we're going to see an increase in prices.
Absolutely.
Just not to the tune of 100,000.
Right, I agree. I've been watching different industry experts, you know, that have talked about, oh, you know, what about this crash? How can the market continue to climb and sustain affordable living and things like that? People are going to get homes and whatnot, and they all have agreed on the same thing. It's not a crash. The circumstances are completely different.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, the lending is not as easy. You know, it's actually quite difficult to get the loan, and it does base off of inventory and then the amount of buyers. I mean, with the whole pandemic, it's taught people like they can shift how they do business. You know, and they can work from home. They can work hard time from home. So now they're moving from all different aspects of the country, coming into Las Vegas, Reno, wherever that might be.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what is causing the increase. Now, do you foresee that slowing down a little bit, the influx of out-of-state buyers? Have you had any kind of insight on that?
I haven't seen, I mean, I think that's going to be kind of government framed for the different states. They're coming in here because of a reason, right? And
right.
So, I still think we'll see a lot of influx in from California. I just think because it's going to be cheaper for them to purchase.
Right.
Although one thing that I think might contribute to second home buyers and investment properties is they've actually given us a date of March when they're going to put an additional pricing adjuster on there.
Okay.
So that it makes it not harder, but it will be more expensive for somebody who's looking to purchase a second home or an investment property and finance. So
Correct.
if people are coming in here to purchase cash, that would mean that they have a higher rate than they do today, right? But also an even higher rate than they would if they were purchasing it as primary residence. But I think that'll help our owner-occupant buyers
Absolutely.
have the ability to maybe compete more, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like you're saying, who are coming in from California, New York, wherever, to live here, or taking lending or financing, maybe that deters them, or
Right.
gives it a little different option, or not option, but gives a little more opportunity for the owner-occupant buyer.
And I actually love that because, again, it almost puts that extra layer of protection again against the crash, right?
Yes.
So to speak,
Yeah.
because again, there's going to be extra stimulations on those investor buyers. So they're not going to be able to just come in and get paper to buy up all these homes.
Yeah.
So that does help our residents actually be able to afford that home.
Yeah.
Which I also think now, people are kind of afraid that, should I sell my house now? Should I buy? Should I do these things? Now, actually, I think it really is a great time because while we're still in the winter months, the rates are going to be steadily increasing over this next year. House values are going to continue to go up. So right now is the perfect opportunity to still get top dollar for your home, but yet still be able to afford that new home before the rates go up for that same loan.
Yeah.
So those are two important factors to definitely keep in mind when we are looking for a new home, correct?
I would agree. I mean, I think, I was a buyer this year. I haven't been a buyer.
Congratulations.
And what made it really nerve-wracking for me, knowing everything, right, that I've been in the industry was, where do we go to? Where, if I'm going to sell, and I haven't sold yet, but if I were to sell, where would I move to?
Right.
And, for me, I'm a buyer who bought a home that I was in love with, and that's what I think people forget, right?
Exactly.
You will find the right home.
Absolutely.
It may take some time, but you will absolutely find, even if the inventory is what everybody's saying, lowest
Right.
inventory of whatever. So
Exactly. I mean, we have under a month's supply, and in a good, healthy market, we should have, 4 to 6 months worth of inventory on hand. But quite frankly, we haven't seen that in years. Years.
I mean,
So,
I think we were.
exactly. We still hadn't really seen that. I think we
Yeah.
were upwards of 3 months of inventory.
Yeah.
So for what's considered a healthy market, it's 4 to 6, but it's been a long time since we've seen that. So even with the low inventory, homes are still selling. I believe we're going to start seeing more homes on the market because of the shift. There's new homes that are being built now that are finally being released. So that's going to help bring in some more homes on the market. People are moving out of state to be closer to family or whatever those cases may be. So I do think there's going to be a little more inventory, which is going to help. Probably not until maybe second, third quarter we'll start seeing that, but which will be really good.
Yeah, I think to your point on the new homes, they used to just wait for a client to come in and then build a home. I'm seeing more builders today actually do what they call spec building.
Absolutely.
And so you have multiple homes built in different stages now.
Yep.
Where you could come in if a home, I was surprised to hear that there was an 30-day inventory
Yes.
for several builders. And
Absolutely.
I think that's a different shift that we didn't see in 2020, even beginning of 2021.
Absolutely not, because there was a shortage of laborers and materials, things like that. So now the builders are getting those. So they're like, you know what, we're going to be prepared for those people who do want to come in. So somebody who's like, you know what, I love this the way it is. I don't need to pick out all my options. I just want to be in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Then they can get in that house without having to pick out too many options.
Yeah.
Then, like you said, then there's that next stage where you can still pick out about the color of your flooring, if you want tile versus carpet, the color of your cabinets. Everything else is fundamentally built, but now you're at a 60 days. So that still gives you plenty of time then to sell your home, move into your dream home. So I really think we're going to see a lot of that this year too, which is really nice. So tell us, I know we're always kind of seeing new programs. What new programs can we see with the lending side of things to help people get into their new home?
So I mean, I think the biggest thing we're going to start to see, one thing, we're going to see more non-traditional type programs come out. I mean, our our vanilla, FHA, VA, conventional, I think those are still going to be our standard majority traditional type financing. I think we'll probably see a 40-year term come out when this affordability thing hit, like when the government, right, if they have any impact on that, I think they will do that because they've done it for modifications today. So with modifications, that whole servicing aspect of it is built to do 40-year terms. Right, and so I think that would be the next step for buyers would be.
And that's going to open up a whole new floodgate of availability, you know.
Absolutely. So I think it's not here yet, but I do think, like, throwing it out there, Shelley Panzarella prediction.
There we go. You heard it live here on Tamra Coulter first.
I think that would probably be a great thing to add in there. But, I mean, we have living in the world of 08, they had like 100% stated income, no income verified. We have similar type of programs where you could do stated income. We have one that's like based off of the rental income on it. As long as it covers a mortgage, they're okay. The biggest difference is it requires a larger down payment.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, so we're in that case, you know, when there was pressure against equity, people just pulled out, right, and decided they didn't want to live in homes. And in this particular case, they have skin in the game. They have to put at least a minimum of 25% down.
Okay.
But it is, you know, some really unique type financing that they can get into a home. It's helping a lot of our self-employed borrowers out there today who are, you know, working through even some of the stuff that happened with COVID, right, where some of the businesses were slowed down or shut down, and they're back to coming back and everything. So that I think is on the horizon. That we have today on the horizon. I think we're going to start to see more non-traditional type programs come out.
I like that, but yet it's got a solid foundation where we don't have to worry about, you know, them falling out and things like that. Because I know I get asked that. Like I had a call not too long ago. It was like, oh, I heard they're starting to do stated income again. That's what caused the crash last time. Things like that. But like you just said, there's a lot more qualifications needed to be able to get that stated income loan. Okay, that's
the money is the biggest thing, right?
Right.
We were doing stated income loans at 100% financing back in the days. And that is, we're not even doing that with full doc today.
Exactly. And I think that's really important for people to really hear, right? Because when you get those calls where people are getting a little nervous, and you really have to look at what caused that last time versus where we are today, and we're nowhere near that, which I think is pretty great. And it says a lot about our community, I feel, because it says like, hey, you know what? This is a great place to live. We have so much going on here between sports, entertainment, healthcare. It has gotten amazing out here, and it's only going to get better. So I really feel like we are going to have it all here, and yet we still have that small town feel.
Absolutely.
As hard as it is to believe with almost 3 million people now, we do really still have a small town feel, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's one factor I think people have forgotten about when they talk about the differences with 08 and today. We didn't have that. It's not even infrastructure, but it's really structure around anything other than tourism.
Exactly.
Right? Like, and I mean like the sector of like our consumers who were buying the homes were solely like hotel.
Hospitality industry.
Right, hospitality, Now you have a whole gamut, and we've got businesses, big corporations here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. So it's a game changer. I mean, we're a completely different town than we were then, so which I think is just amazing. I'm proud to live here, you know, for sure. So, okay, and then one last thing is, what about the teacher program? Because I know we have all of our amazing teachers out there that have a lot on their plate. What programs do we have available to help assist them at this time?
So there's a great program through Nevada Housing Division which offers full-time Clark County School District teachers, inclusive of the charter schools.
Okay.
So kindergarten through 12th grade, you have an opportunity to get a below market interest rate. So no matter where the rates are at, there will always be a below market interest rate. Plus, you get $7,500 towards down payment and/or closing costs. So it's a great program. It's an FHA loan, but it is utilizing this teacher program. It was extended through the end of March. So
wonderful.
Yeah, if anybody out there is a teacher, full-time teacher, or knows of anybody, I know we got a lot of kids go
Absolutely.
definitely reach out to Tamra or myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And even for my daughter up in Reno, who's a math teacher, you know, Shelly can hook you up. I keep telling you to buy, honey. So, all right. So thank you so much, Shelly. Is there any last tidbits, information, anything you'd like to share?
Yeah. The only
let's
thing
hear
I
about
would say is rates, right? I think
Yes.
that's the biggest thing that's kind of shifted just this beginning of the year. So the speculation or projections were that rates were going to increase to the high threes, 3.75 by the end of Q3. We actually saw the first increase the first week of January. So we went from 3.1 to about 3.4.
Okay.
And then recently we went from 3.4, and I've been locking people in about 3.625.
Okay.
I had somebody with a little bit lower credit score, and we were in the fours. So not to scare anybody, because it's still historically low.
I was going to say, that's still amazing.
Absolutely.
I mean,
But I think people have not heard that it's changed, and
Right.
it's just to set the right expectations so that
That's very important.
people are prepared for that, right? And not making that the focal point of their purchase. Talk about payment, look at their
Absolutely.
and getting with me if they have any questions about where their payment would be.
Exactly, because when you speak with Shelly about what is available, she knows everything about all the different programs out there, what she can do to help you get into that right home. She knows about them before anybody else. You heard her predictions here, so if there is anything available for you, she is going to know it or find it out for you for sure. So I love that. So before we close, we're going to do a little rapid fire with my dear friend here. So we're going to ask her a few questions and just get to know her a little bit more, so that way even when you call her up for a loan or whatnot, or even if you just have questions for her regarding this, she's happy to help those people. Her team is amazing, so you know you're in good hands for sure. So let's do some rapid fire here and get to know Shelly Panzarella. All right, so we'll start it off here. What's your favorite drink?
I love soda water.
Soda water. I actually love that bubbly as well. When are you most productive, morning or evening?
Morning.
Morning.
4 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, so that's like dawn, like pre-dawn. Wonderful. How do you start your day? Since you like to get up at 4 a.m., how does that look?
So the first thing I do is I jump into my devotional. So I have this great app, the YouVersion app, and that's the first thing. So I go right into that. And it's a quick 5-minute, devotional around a scripture and things like that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then my morning routine consists of that. I do my daily focus, which is ultimately my gratitude, my affirmations, and then my top, 3 to 5 lists. And I'm actually writing a book. So
wonderful.
I am committing 15 minutes every morning to contributing to this book in some way.
Okay.
And that's like the first 30 minutes of my morning.
Love it. Okay, well, and I can't wait to see this book. That's going to be wonderful. Okay, so what advice would you give your young self?
Oh my gosh.
I know that's a good one.
I think a lot. I would just say to be brave and have courage. I think the person I am today, if I look back on myself, I had no confidence. I wasn't, and it's crazy to even think, because when I talk about that, people are like, you did not talk to people? Like, I was an introvert. And I still think I'm an introvert.
Right.
So I'm not like you, like, hey! Like, you come up to everybody, which is why you're an amazing realtor and so super friendly. It takes me a little bit of time to warm up. And when I warm up, then I'm like, I can't stop talking.
Yeah.
You're like, exactly, Shelly, this is rapid fire.
I love it.
Yeah, but that would be it, just to be brave and have courage.
Gosh, I mean, that would be it for me, because I know everybody thinks I'm so extroverted, but I really am the same way. And I think sometimes the way I come off, like, oh, it's like that's my fear coming out, right? And to be brave. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. And then, okay, so now we're just going to go a quick vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Cold or hot?
Like drink or
just
cold, super cold.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Carbs or sweets?
Ooh, carbs.
Carbs.
Heated chips and rice.
Yeah, bread and butter. Like, I mean, give me some homemade bread and I'm like, okay, any kind of program I'm following is out the window, right? So
I can't say that though. My dad's a baker, and so I love all of his sweets.
there you go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shelly, for joining me today and being a part of us. She is part of the Tamra Coulter team there. So, and we're so excited. So if you have any questions regarding the market, if you're wanting to get pre-qualified or even think about what that's going to look like in the next 6 months, a year, it doesn't matter. Start that process now and call today. Until then, stay safe, healthy, have fun, and we look forward to talking to you then. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.